a job for you, 621.
Raven. You motherfucker.
John Rubicon doesn't afraid of anything. Welcome back. This time we're doing an Armored Core 6 30-minute mission kit. I didn't know what to do with this thing for the longest time until recently when I've been repainting my first Warhammer 40,000 army, the Imperial Guard, as you can see here. While painting them, I thought, hey, what the hell? Wouldn't it be cool to replace one of those lame Imperial Knights with a sick-ass Armored Core instead? Probably not, but we're gonna try anyway. So to give you a better idea of what the general paint scheme is, it is a tan color that came out looking a little bit yellow with some camo patterns and some black accents. I did not do the camo on this kit whatsoever. The first thing that I attached to this was the Melta-Cannon from the Heavy Sentinel kit for Horus Heresy. This had a nub that kind of perfectly lined up with the left arm's nub of the Melander, which was really nice. After that, I found this side piece in my Gunpla bits, which kind of fit perfectly into the backpack, which was nice for me to attach the rocket launcher from the Heavy Sentinel kit as well. I did put a little bit of glue in there just to keep it secure so it wasn't flopping all over the place unnecessarily. Afterwards was adding extra bits, such as those giant bullets, this radar on the left shoulder, and some 3D printed reactive armor that you can see there on the left leg. After that, I attached some backpacks from the Ratlings that I had left over, along with more reactive armor that was 3D printed. And I think overall this will generally lend to the Imperial Guard look in the sense of realism and it's being very utilitarian. So yeah. And so a final look at the kit before any priming or painting. So unlike other previous painting jobs that I've done on this channel, I didn't take anything off this time. I just did a straight up paint job all at once that you can see here, and it turned out fantastic. Didn't really have any blemishes or defects on the paint whatsoever. I managed to get all areas sprayed pretty evenly, and it didn't require me taking off the arms or the legs or anything like that. The only areas that really didn't get sprayed is kind of like the nozzle of the Melta-Gun there, but I ended up painting over it. Likewise, we go immediately into painting all the other parts, putting our base coats down, mainly our metallic and our blacks. We have a little bit of yellow down in there too, just to start. So I went right into painting lenses. So this involves a black, 2 reds, and a white paint. You want to put your black paint down as your base coat, followed by your darkest red, almost covering entirely all of it, followed by a half crescent of their lightest red, then 2 dots of white and a line, as you can see there. So here is our kit with those small details, those base coats, and some decals down. So these decals, again, I'm using Mr. Hobby instead of water this time, and they are much better off for it. I was very happy with the results, and the kit is already looking fantastic. Next, I painted up the legs, specifically the Ratling backpacks, to add some details to them. I didn't go too crazy, didn't spend a ton of time on them, but I think they look pretty well for what they are. They match my Cadian scheme specifically. And then, of course, the Black Viper from the Cadian decal set, which is really nice. I add some more details to the Melta-Cannon, such as a heat effect, and highlights to the various yellow parts of the kit, such as the wires and the bullet and missile heads. And then some details to the back of the radar, such as some lenses and wiring. I also did some dark wash to the metallics. I don't think I did it on the right elbow there though, but the kit is looking pretty good at this point. I did add some camo netting that I had from some previous kits, again trying to add to that utilitarian realistic look. I think it looks alright. I did end up removing it by the end. I didn't think it was good just hiding all those precious details of the backpacks. As you will see here in a sec, a better look at all the appendages of our armored core. It's at this point where the most of our work is done, but we still have a lot of weathering left to do before we can proceed, and of course a top coat. So in order to do a lot of weathering, I had these sponge pieces, or foam pieces if you will, and you kind of just dab that in black and you touch on the corners. In corners and spots where the black pooled a little bit too much, you just fill in that space with metallic paint like I did there. So here's all the appendages again, now with some weathering. Now that that weathering has been applied, we can put the appendages back together and have ourselves a look. Whoa, base alert. So of course I had to make up a base for my mini for my Warhammer army. Luckily, I have a buddy at my work who loves 3D printing stuff. And so he 3D printed me this topper. This topper should perfectly match my current basing aesthetic, which is a destroyed desert city. So just like the kit itself, I primed and painted it in this color. This color, by the way, is Vallejo Dead Flesh from a rattle can. That's why it's kind of like a greenish, yellowish tan. After that, I just did some base coats and a wash everywhere. I wiped away some of the excess wash with a paper towel. After that, I did some basic butt dry brushing. Again, I'm going to try to show this on camera, but I have one hand, which is very difficult to do. Usually you're holding it steady with the other. I really need to figure out like a better fucking camera setup or like something. But you get the general idea. You're going to apply this all over the base itself, and it's going to make it look real nice. So after applying a dry brush everywhere, this is what you get. And yeah, looking a lot better for sure. However, we do need to cover up some of those 3D printed details, so I did that with some basic buck pigments. After that, it's just a point of attaching the kit to the base. So you may be wondering after that how exactly I attach the feet to the base, and it's super glue. That's the secret, it's super glue. So I found two nice places where the seat kind of sat flush. I did want to keep that one diagonal so it looks like he's walking over that piece. The other, I just had to trim a little bit down to get it to sit nice and flat, but after it did, that got glued down really nice, so it's standing pretty firm. Other than that, I think the kit looks fantastic. I think I could have pushed the weathering a bit further. I don't think I did enough with it. I think it's just a bit too light. Weathering is one of those things, man, where if you go too hard on it, it's gonna just be way too distracting. And if you do too little, you're not really gonna notice it at all. And I think in my case, it's kind of hard to notice unless you're pretty up close. But other than that, I think the rest of the kit turned out pretty well. I could have pushed myself a bit farther on this if I really wanted to be honest. But overall, I think it's a very aesthetically pleasing piece. However, I think the biggest advantage of this as a Warhammer mini, quote unquote, if you could call it that, more of a display piece, is that it's infinitely posable. It's not stuck. It's not permanently glued everywhere. The only things that are glued are the feet. So the arms, the leg, the body itself, even the bits of the legs, I can, move and repose as I need. So if I get bored of the current pose, I can just change it. Of course, I am doing this one-handed again, so my posing skills are very limited at the moment, but I assure you with both hands, I'm very, very good at this. We can see how well the new base pairs with some of the current bases I already had for my ratlings. Those pieces line up very nicely, again contributing to that destroyed city look. I also finished up a Rogaldorn tank towards the end of this video being made, and I think it does pair up very well to Melander. Almost looking like a couple of things that could go on patrol together, maybe not with that Chimera. I still need to dirty that up and give that a bit more weathering, that's for sure. But I thought I'd leave you guys off with a quick setup tour, so I did rearrange this recently, and I think it looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing. So first up is my Blades of Khorne Demon Army, my 2 Bloodthirsters, followed by the rest. And yes, that is a Dark Souls Titanite demon in the back there. But very cool, very green. I went for an eyeless gimmick with these guys, which I thought was pretty fun. Below them is my Frost Slayer army, which I believe are getting reworked at the end of the month or something like that. And then below them, of course, my Imperial Guard army. Not yet done, I still have a little bit of stuff left to paint, but this is definitely most of it. And looking over, we see all my custom Gunpla kits, of course, the first 2 that I did. My World War II inspired one, along with this tank, the Full Armor Gundam, and the Metal Gear Jesta. And then my 2 favorite, probably my Full Armor Kampfer, and my most recent one, the Zegok, of course. My diorama setup and my participation pin from the GBWC. I think I submitted like my World War II kit or something like that on a whim because the Canada submission is jank as hell and you don't know when it's coming up. Here's my computer looking real nice, and then my painting setup. Right above that is my late cousin's drawing. He was a fantastic artist, and to this day that drawing gives me inspiration. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video, guys. See you later.
Let's make some money.